I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-Minute Convos, where I help you create a brand of your own unique, real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good day, Louis Funialchek. How are you going on this wonderful, beautiful day?
I'm doing really well. Thank you. It's a very cold day in Wales in the United Kingdom. It's often cold here, but don't want to let that get in the way of ruining a beautiful day.
Oh, that's great. That's great to hear. Well, Louis, do tell us, which of your talents is responsible for us connecting, please?
I'd say networking. For the last couple of years, especially, I've always tried my hardest at networking and just getting in touch with people that I find interesting, people I never thought I'd speak to before. Having the courage to just get your name out there and just message and try and meet amazing people like yourself. Setting up a LinkedIn account was one of the best things I ever did, because it started connecting me with people like you and presenting me with opportunities like this.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah. I love your tenacity. Yeah, get out there. It's so important. Who did you learn that skill from?
I follow a lot of sort of business and life coaches on YouTube, and there's one life coach in particular called Eric Thomas. He gives a lot of motivational speeches and just life advice, and I think he's one of the most inspirational people in the world. So I've always tried to model myself after his lessons, so that's where I've picked up most of my skills from.
How has it been going thus far? I mean, sometimes when you do reach out like this, there are some no's that you encounter. How has that been going?
Yeah, I've messaged a lot of people. I run a couple of podcasts. One of the podcasts is to do with boxing and mixed martial arts. The other one's to do with football or soccer, depending on what you call it. So I message a lot of athletes, professional athletes. Some of them are nice enough to get back to me, but then some of them just ignore my messages. But that's fine. If you don't try, you're never gonna get the yeses. So it's better to try and fail than not try at all.
I totally agree. Now, tell us the name of your podcast, please.
My boxing and mixed martial arts podcast is called the Championship Rounds podcast. That's my main podcast. I try and speak to professional mixed martial artists and boxers with incredible stories. So the last episode of the podcast, I spoke to a mixed martial artist who was once hospitalized and almost died, and he was told he'd never be able to play sports again, let alone compete professionally again. But he didn't let that stop him, and he came back from that. So I like to tell those sort of inspirational stories because I think they're important for people to hear.
Is your podcast in English or German?
My podcast's in English.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. So, have you ever spoken to any Trinidadian mixed martial arts?
No, I actually haven't. At the moment, I've only spoken to local fighters around the United Kingdom, but I'm trying to branch out and speak to as many people as I can.
Yeah. Definitely connect you with one in Trinidad. He's been winning and winning and winning and winning. That should be fun. So
yeah, I'd appreciate that.
Yeah, sure. So you've been doing this. You've gotten the nose. You're continuing to do this. Tell us where's the best place to connect with you.
Me, I do a lot of my networking and connecting on Instagram. My podcast on there is Championship Rounds Podcast. The same on Twitter. It's just Champ Rounds Pod. I speak to a lot of people. I speak to fans of the sport. I speak to young people who are taking up the sport. I just like to have conversations with people, and I feel that's how you learn the best life lessons and the most inspirational stories. So anyone, I like to speak to anybody I can, and I feel it's important to have as many conversations as possible, as of course you do too.
Yeah, most definitely, right? Well, do tell us one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years.
Over the last 3 years especially, I've just learned the importance of losing the fear, because when I was younger, I used to let fear get in the way of me sort of chasing my dreams too much. I was always too scared of what people would think. I left it late to start, podcasting or YouTube channels or business ventures, because I was too scared of what the kids in school would say about me, and I think that held me back too much. And then it got to a point where I realized if people are doing that and they are making fun of you and they are holding you back from chasing your dream, then they're probably not worth having in your inner circle. So as soon as I learned to let that fear go, then that's just done me it's the best decision I ever made.
How does it make you feel knowing that you're letting go to go forward?
Oh, it's such a relief. For years I had so many ideas in my head and so many things I wanted to do, and it was frustrating that I couldn't, get that release creatively. So now that I've learned, not to worry about what anyone else thinks, I'm so much, happier as a person. Like when I wake up in the morning and I'm working on, emailing podcast guests and, just researching video ideas and things like that, it's made me such a happy person compared to what I was beforehand.
You have an interesting accent. Tell me more, please. I'm sure it's not straight UK, is it?
So I'm from Wales in the United Kingdom. It's just next to England. Obviously, you've got the United Kingdom is Ireland, Scotland, England, and Wales. I'm from South Wales, so yeah, we are known for having a bit of a strange accent compared to the rest of the UK. But I feel Wales is probably the less known part of the UK. It's only a population of 3 million.
Yeah. You're definitely sounding different, but it's more understandable though.
Yeah,
for my ears. Yeah, that's cool. All right, my friend. Let's switch gears for a moment now, Lewis, and let me now invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Lewis, what is your earliest childhood memory?
Okay, so I have a really vivid childhood memory of myself being in a pram, or I don't know if Americans call them strollers, when I was younger. So I must have been really young, and I remember my mother pushing me into a department store, and I just remember a circle of women surrounding me, staring at me, talking, and I think that memory sort of like sticks in my mind as so clear because I've always liked connecting with new people and speaking to new people. So whenever I meet a new person, it's something I don't forget easily.
Intriguing. How old were you in that prom?
Oh, I can't remember how old I was, but it couldn't have been more than a couple of years, you'd assume, if I was in a pram.
I love how you connected it, and I love how you painted the picture of who you are today. I think you're definitely someone that is like high attraction. The way you speak and the way you talk, now your confidence amazingly makes people want to connect with you. Isn't that intriguing after struggling with fears?
Yeah, that's a lot what my family say about me. Like maybe five or so years ago, I was too shy to even I didn't really speak to many people because I was just too shy of what people would think about me. I wasn't so outgoing. I often stayed in my own shell. But like I said, as soon as I lost that fear, it opened up just a world of opportunities, and I made a load of new friends and met a load of amazing people, and got a lot of good opportunities.
And if we fast forwarded on this time machine to when you were 12 years old, what was your favorite song?
My favorite song was probably a song called Sail Away Sweet Sister by the band Queen. I don't know if you know them.
I do not. Sail away. Yeah. What does the song speak of?
Again, I think personally I've always related it to the release of, learning to let things go. So I always thought that was reflective of my personal situation.
Well, you've definitely been connecting dots of this podcast, my friend. Like, should we switch sides? Well done. Well, Lewis, we've arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there is a small declaration form. So it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready?
Yep.
Lewis, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Yeah, my best friend who's got the same mentality as me, so we often share skills.
Are you married?
No, I'm not married.
Do you have children?
No, I don't.
Do you believe in God?
Not in the technical sense. I don't really believe in a God, but I believe in a oneness in the world.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Yes, I have a very close inner circle of like-minded people.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No, I don't.
How about 3 hours a week?
Yeah.
What about screen time, the phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
At the moment, probably more than 8.
Lewis, if you had to share with us your own unique real statement, the statement that represents who you are, what would you say that is?
Don't let any external factors get in the way of you following your dreams.
Love it. Lewis, say your last name the way you would say it for me, please.
Fernil Check.
Franielczak. I love it. Louis Franielczak, this has been a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Yeah, other than just check out my podcast. Just don't make the same mistakes I did when I was younger. If you have a dream, just follow it with everything you've got. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
I love it. Louis Franielczak. Check out the podcast. It's right there, right? Louis Franielczak, thank you for being on what is inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thank you for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.